following program is an exclusive Disruption Networks production.
So you just bought your dream home, and now it's time to move. Let's face it, nobody likes to move. All the packing, unpacking, lifting, upstairs, downstairs, and broking everything, including your back. Let the professionals at EJA Moving Company take all the stress and pain out of your move. Competitively priced moving, relocation services, office moves, and complete packing and unpacking services. They work with everybody to make it simple and easy for you to move and relocate. Call EJA Moving Company at 315-335-0516. When it's time to relocate, have EJA Moving do all the work for you. Hit them up online, ejamoving.com.
Want to know what's going on at the D? Hit up DisruptionNetwork.net and check out our events calendar brought to you by the Events Co. Find out about upcoming guests, special events, concerts, show schedules, community activities, and more. Get connected at DisruptionNetwork.net.
I got the 315 Music All-Stars in the house today. Houseful, baby. We're rocking and rolling on the D. It's Thursday. We're live on all Disruption Network social media platforms. And it's wrapped up into a nice little podcast to love that you can view and listen to at your discretion, at your leisure, at DisruptionNetwork.net. Much love to Utica Coffee, EJA Moving Services, my friends at Saranac, and the Utica Hemp Company. Always taking care of me here around the D. Man, I feel like I got like the local music Hall of Fame sitting in the studio over here today. Let's start with Bob Lett. How you doing, Bob?
Hey, what's going on?
You might remember Bob Lett from such bands as Red Hush, Grit and Grace, Visigoth. Give me some more accolades. Dig.
Undercover.
Oh, see, Borgia remembers more of your bands than you do.
I remember Dig.
Red Rum.
There's another.
Yeah, there's a few out there.
Metacopus. Syndicate.
Metacopus.
Right.
See?
Syndicate, yep.
Damn. You whore.
I'm easy.
Exactly. Yeah. And then in the middle, my man Dave Borgia is making his 4th appearance on EC Radio today.
Woo. Why?
See you, buddy? I don't know, man. He just invites himself, dude.
Hey, I was told to come here today.
Sharky Jr.
I didn't get that memo.
One day I saw him on the side of the road picking flowers. I'm like, Dave, just come in. Just come in. Good to see you, brother. He's going to be heading on a cruise, right? Do you have the Progressive Rock cruise?
Month from today?
Yeah. Who's on that cruise?
Marillion, Steve Hackett, Yes, Riverside, all prog bands.
All your favorites.
Yeah. 3rd in a row.
I think we talked about that last time you were on here, too.
This will be our 3rd.
Those cruises. In fact, we should do a 315 music cruise. I think with
awesome.
Look at all the
That's
star
cool.
power in here today. We could have our own metal cruise.
We'll cruise the Barge Canal.
Rock.
We'll get a dinghy.
Or a sleigh.
I love it. And over here, my man Roy Costin in the house. I haven't seen Roy in like 15 years.
That's what we were discussing earlier. 15 years.
Great to see you, brother.
Thank you very much.
Love Bone, Costin. Give me some other accolades.
Back in the day, I was in Ardent. I was in DC Strut. I am also currently the guitar player in Between Worlds with Riff Scott Miller and the former vocalist for Metal Church, Ronnie Monroe.
Wow.
Trans-Siberian Orchestra. So we're writing some songs on that. I've been around the block.
Yeah, you have. In fact,
know.
one day you and I need to sit down and do a one-on-one without these lunatics in the
Oh, I
studio.
got yeah.
I think we need to sit down and
You
talk
know.
and go through your history and document your history.
I guess since they were busting my chops, I am a little bit older than all of them. So, yeah, I got lots of history. People don't realize that there is a lot of history in Central New York.
Oh, totally.
But me being stuck in the middle between Syracuse and Utica, we had to make our own thing.
Mm-hmm.
I played on, 19 records so far in my
really?
career. So, I got, tons of stuff.
Lots
Man
of
knows
know.
his shit.
And
Really,
there's
really
a lot of
good.
stuff that incorporated Jerry, and that's why we're here today, too. So I got lots of stories.
Roy is the real whore.
Yeah, right. It takes one to know one. And then in the back, my man Mark Bendonia's in the house. Man, I've been trying to get you in here for years, Animal.
I know. It's tough.
It's good to see you, brother.
Good to see you too, brother.
How's
Thanks
things?
for having me. Good. Everything's good.
Get that son of a bitch Shane in here.
Yeah, I
one
know.
of these days. I know he's scared to come
He's
in
probably
here.
listening right now.
He's-
Where
if he's
is
listening-
Troy?
Where's Troy?
Probably home,
out near Schenectady, I think. Schenectady, Albany area?
Yeah, it's east of here.
Oh, yeah,
It's
okay.
east of here.
That's right.
Troy Perry.
East of here.
No, but man, Red Hush has been doing a thing for 30 years, man. If
Yeah,
not longer.
Long time.
Long time. Wow. Legendary. Maybe one day we could do a one-on-one too.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah. And then we
I'd like
could talk.
to get everybody in here and then we could talk.
I would love that.
That would
Ray
be great.
too. Big shout out to Ray Abel too, man. I
Yeah.
love that.
Love
too.
Ray.
I love
a good
Ray's
guy.
the man.
Hi, Ray.
Ray.
Hi, Ray.
Great
Hi, Ray.
T-Bone.
The problem with Red Hush is that they come and go and they come and they go and they come and they go and it drives me fucking crazy.
They can't just stay.
Every like 2 years, I got to talk to Madonia and go, brother, go play when I go out and see you guys again. I don't know, brother, we're taking a break. And then like 3 months later, I'll jam it again. And I'm like, yeah,
Yeah, good. It's in your blood,
Yeah, well,
bro.
let's hope we stay this time.
yes.
For sure, for sure. And that voice that you hear in the back, my man needs no introduction. You've been seeing him on the local music scene for 20 plus years with the band The Bomb, thebombrocks.com. My man Mike Santa Lucia in the house. Mike, good to see you, brother.
Good to be here.
This is your third time here too, right?
Think so.
Somewhere around that time.
I bet.
Yeah.
Easily.
Usually I can't get him to shut up. No, I'm kidding.
I'm going to see nice and quiet today. Let these
No,
guys
no,
rap.
no. I'm kidding, man. No,
No,
today.
don't stay quiet.
No, he can't, Mike. It's not in the contract.
Mike's got the gift of gab.
Yeah, you do, brother. You do. You got the silver tongue. That's for
Yeah.
damn
Thank
sure.
you, thank you.
And looking at you guys in the studio, I'm like, man, what's going to happen today? But you could just feel the vibe. It's going to be good. But the reason why you guys are all here is to pay tribute to your brother. What's his name? Jerry the Hammer Yerman, right? Sorry, brother.
Oh, sure.
He's in another world.
We'll beat you down after.
Well, yeah, but what's give me the whole backstory on Jerry. I didn't know Jerry. I've been on the
As
music
far
for a while.
as probably should start with you, with the Visigoth stuff.
How long have you known him?
I've known him since we were trying to talk about that earlier, 1981. When I first saw him sing.
For us.
Yeah, it was before
Was it?
us.
Okay. I
Yeah.
thought it was okay. So my encounter with Jerry was I was still in school, so it was like 81. I graduated 82. And he was jamming in a band. Some friends said, "Oh, you got to go see this band." Because it was Back in Black. And I can remember going to the rehearsal. The first song I heard Jerry sing was Back in Black. And I'm just like, this kid, just going like this. And then they were doing some Priest stuff and some Sabbath. And he went back to Back in Black. And he was hitting all those high notes like it was nothing. So as the years went on, playing in different bands, I know when I was in Ardent, we did a couple shows. He came up and sang at different events, benefits, or whatever the case was back then. Same thing with DC Strut. And then into the Four Large Men thing, when I started to do that, but we were a little bit of backline on that. I was talking to Mark earlier. I actually auditioned for Metacopus.
Huh.
Some history
knew
there.
that.
You didn't know that? Well,
Were you
I
in
was
the
talking to
band,
Bob.
brother, then?
Yeah, Bob was there.
Yeah, I remember that.
So, but
How old were you guys during Metacopus?
12.
So that makes me what, 14, 15?
Early 20s.
Yeah, it was.
Well,
yeah.
at that time, but those Mark and Shane and Ray started that when they were in high school.
Yeah, weren't you guys
So they're
together in
like
high school?
17.
Yeah, we were still in high school.
High school? Yeah. And then you, being the older cat, wanted to play with the kids from high school?
That was
Even
a few years
though-
later, I think.
I am older. I think I look younger than everybody
you-
else. So
You look great, man. You
Got
do.
more hair than me.
okay, so there's my dig. So, anyways, after that, decided to go into the route of the Four Large Men thing. So the first lineup of Four Large Men consisted of myself, my friend Rick Richmond, who I knew since 7th grade, Kevin Meacham that was in the Ardent, the DC Strut stuff with me, and then Jerry. And I believe I brought a picture. You have it here somewhere. The original lineup of Four Large Men are no longer here.
With
This is tougher than I thought.
Yeah.
you got it, man. You got it.
You know, it's just it. You know, so here I am.
We got Roy still.
I don't know how I survived all that. I'm still here.
Well, you're paying
You know,
tribute to all of them.
Well, that was the whole idea.
Week.
You know,
Yeah.
I got a great wife. She takes care of me, but it's tough.
Yeah.
You know, you look at the photo. You know, we've been through a lot, and
There's the photo right here, actually.
yeah, that was taken in downtown Utica on one of the bridges. You know, and unfortunately, you know, that C word, cancer, you know, took Kevin and Rick, and Jerry had a lot of health issues, and I think by the end, I think that was part of it too.
Yeah.
But, you know, I have to think of all the good times and everything that we accomplished with, you know, Four Large Men. We were lucky enough to, you know, we put out a tape. People who have the yellow one, that was the first copy.
You got to look at that thing with sunglasses on.
That's right. That was the whole idea. The second copy of that, there was...
A green one.
is green.
I like that. Here, let me put that.
That's cool.
Here,
So
hold
we
that
were-
up. Hold this up. Kids, with these are
yeah.
with Roy is holding up right now are called cassette tapes.
Wow.
And these which you would buy at a record store.
Yes.
And it holds music on it.
On both
Remember
sides.
that in a few minutes. Remind me of that in a
On
few
both
minutes.
sides.
It's the vintage MP3 player.
Analog on both sides.
Analog on
Turn
both
it over.
sides.
So we were lucky enough to sign with Paris Records. We have Jezebel on. I have the CD, but I brought the cassette.
Oh, cool.
And you know, with Jezebel, that did a lot for us.
Mm-hmm.
And also got on Iron Man Records presents Metal Jam 1 with a bunch of other unsigned bands. And I forgot what songs are on here. Jezebel and I think Friction Addiction or something like that. So
were you guys touring around? Were you guys?
we were, you know, we did as much as we could.
Yeah.
See, kids today don't get it. Back in the days when I started playing, I've been playing out since I was 16. You know, some nights you had to play 4 or 5 sets a night. We did all that, you know. Ardent, same thing. The Four Large Men thing, we played from Oswego down to Binghamton, and we played just about every crap hole we could find just to play. But as the 2000s came into play, we went into Love Bone, we decided to, you know, not play as much, just, you know, play some decent shows. And with that, like I said, with the cassettes, we were lucky to do that. I was going through some stuff earlier, and I got to dig it out because we actually did for WCW. We did a TV commercial which they never aired, and it was based on the BC Boys song "You Gotta Fight for Your Right to Party." Mm-hmm. You know, and Jerry came up with the words like Hollywood Hogan and his two-tone hair. You know, I mean, we did all that. We also did a commercial for the Music Lover Shop in Syracuse. We were lucky to do that. And we actually, in '98, we ended up doing a second record, which was never released, but you can find some of the stuff on YouTube. And my plan is to take everything that I have done, and I'm working with some people right now, so all that stuff is going to come out this summer.
Oh, cool.
I was lucky enough to have Jerry sing before he passed away. I wrote a song back in the days of Ardent. It was called Cry Tough. So I got him at the house doing that. And also, I have Jerry singing, I take that back, 3 songs. We did an acoustic version of Ain't Feeling Right, which we wrote back in the day. And I got Jerry singing with John Gallagher from Raven on a real heavy song, probably the heaviest song I wrote. So there's a lot of stuff sitting there, and I got to get it out. Just not enough hours in the day.
Well, where do you put them out? Where are you going to put them out? Like
I'm not
YouTube or
sure how I'm
something?
going to do it. I'll probably stream it all first.
Yeah.
You know.
Right on. So we do have to mention the party is this Saturday, or the tribute is this
Right.
Saturday. It's free to the public,
Yeah, it's
so
free.
you got no
Right.
excuse not to go.
No door
Correct.
charge. We just ask that anybody that goes consider making a donation to our charity, which is the VVS High School Music Boosters Club, for the kids to help them buy some instruments or whatever they need.
It's in Jerry's memory.
Yeah.
The
And,
The donation to the Booster Club.
Is
We
he an
all
alumni
believe to
from
keep
VVS?
music in the schools.
He graduated from VVS.
Yeah,
Yeah, he went to
in,
VVS.
79, I think he graduated.
Yeah, I think.
Yep.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yep.
Oh
79.
yeah.
So out of this whole group, have any of you guys? So you two played together, and you two played together, and you two have you played with any of these guys, Roy? Other than trying out for Medicopus,
Probably just Mike.
just Mike.
Jamming with him, like if they played the gig or something, or
come
wherever, done that, filled in a few times.
Yep. Yeah, we jammed at the gig a couple times, I think. I came and sang a bunch of songs with you guys and other shows.
Yeah, there's-
a bunch of other shows we've filled. You've actually filled in for us.
Yeah.
At one show,
Yeah.
as usual, Crosway was late, so
Yeah.
he got up
Yeah,
there and
there's
played
a-
with
yeah,
us for
there's a
like
few
half
things
an
I've
hour
done.
till Crosway rolled in the door right while we're playing.
You should have kept Roy.
Oh, dude, please, that would have been fantastic.
Mike, that's the one thing I could say about you, brother. You open your doors to every musician in Central New York. If somebody's in the house, you invite them up on stage. You're so welcoming and bringing up all these other musicians, and you have been for many years, man, and we all appreciate that.
Thank
For
you.
sure, for sure.
I played with you two last year.
No reason not to be.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Aquaviva's checking in. He's saying Jerry's first band, Falcon.
It's right, Falcon. I remember Falcon.
Falcon. And he's saying Jerry's nicknamed the Hammer at that show, and he named him Bob named him the Hammer, and so did Tim Gillis.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, Gillis for sure. I
gave-
remember that.
They gave him the name the Hammer. Thanks, Bob. Bob, I got to get you on the show, bro. You're the only one missing.
Tell
from this whole
Bob to
thing.
show up Saturday night. He can come and jam a tune or two, a couple tunes with us. He knows a lot of those tunes.
You just told him.
I think
There
there's
you go, babe.
there's some old Falcon material on YouTube, I think.
Really?
Yeah, I believe there's some music.
I had the original flyer for that, and I gave it to Jerry, and I kept it.
I remember back. I can't even tell you what year it was. 82, maybe. What year was Falcon? 81, 82.
81, something around there.
And
right.
I remember
Maybe
listening
before
to.
that.
There was some local station around here. Back then, people listened to the radio. Believe it or not, they don't anymore. But there was a local show that played like local music, and they would interview local musicians. And I remember Falcon being on. It was the first time I ever heard Falcon, and they played a couple of their songs, like from their tape or whatever they had at the time. And I remember listening. I go, "Oh, this guy's a pretty good singer." I remember that. And a year later, I was singing in a band called Fallen Angel, which is a whole nother story, which we'll get to later on if you want. But I remember hearing Jerry, and I go for the first time, and I said, "Well, this guy's a really good singer." And they were interviewing them, and it was really cool.
Was that on WOUR?
I don't remember what channel
I know what you're talking about, but
the
I
show
can't
was
the
on.
name of the show.
And I remember a couple years later hearing Red Hush on there, and I think you guys played a Mississippi Queen live or something on there. I don't know if you remember that.
We might have been on the college station. Utica.
W-
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
With,
I think so.
I don't remember, but I remember listening to it, and I remember Red Hush a few years later
We did something
being on
with-
the
with-
What
local.
station was that?
I don't remember. It was in Utica. I lived in Utica at
You
the
remember
time.
that, Bob?
Was it
I
PNR?
think it was PNR. It was the college
It was the
station.
Utica College radio
there you
station.
go. Yeah, the college
Alright.
radio.
They still have that?
And we went there to the
Yeah.
studio, and we actually played live in the studio.
They're very
No, we didn't
supportive.
play live there.
Oh.
We played at K Rock live
Oh yeah, I remember that.
And maybe it was K Rock
for,
then.
for Bill Keeler's
Yeah,
show.
Bill was great.
Maybe it was.
I have no. I just remember. It's good.
We played a couple of
that
shows
when
with you guys too.
when they have local
The Healer,
bands do that stuff.
We did stuff
I
for
love that.
94 K Rock back at the time when it was a whole different thing of what it is now.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, back when it was a locally owned channel.
that's right. We did like a Christmas show.
Yeah, we
or
did
something.
that.
I remember
Four
you guys
Large
being
Men, the
there.
second lineup of Four Large Men.
That's when I was with these guys in Red Hush.
Yeah.
When you guys were coming up in the music scene, when you weren't playing, what other bands were you guys checking out back in the day?
We were all over the place.
Oh,
Who were
when
you supporting?
When we were starting to get into metal around 83 or 84, it was Bob's band,
Luftwaffe,
Luftwaffe.
Dave Slife.
And,
Yep.
yeah, we actually, Dave, we invited Dave to come up and sing with us, but he couldn't make it. He lives in New York City and had other plans. But they were a band that we looked up to, and as we were getting more into metal, because we actually started out in high school as kind of a party dance band, and we played a bunch of that type of music, and we started to get into Judas Priest and Iron Maiden, and we went and seen Luftwaffe, and it was like, wow, that's what we need to do. And
Yeah.
that's how we kind of came across meeting Jerry, because the singer we had, he couldn't sing that stuff, and he really wasn't into it, and that's okay. But we heard about Jerry, and I had never heard him myself, but somebody went out and seen him sing and said he's great. We got to get that guy. If his band breaks up, that's who we got to get. And like a couple months later, his band broke up, and the other guys in his band, they ended up becoming lifelong friends of ours. But Jerry ended up, to make a long story short, he came out and tried out for us when we had a room at White Towers next to Pete's Music. And
everybody
walls,
did.
If those walls could talk.
I don't remember what the first song was, Dave. Maybe it was Green.
It was Green Menalishi. That's
And,
what he auditioned. Well, and we always said that he auditioned us. We didn't audition. But this will stay in my head forever. I remember when we had him come in and try out and sing for us. And when he hit that high note, he had the microphone up here. And the guy was so fucking powerful, it was off the hook. I mean, and I remember John Burke looking at me and going like, holy fuck.
Yeah, and the glass was melting and the wallpaper was peeling off.
No,
and
he just had that voice.
I remember hitting it. No,
I've never heard anything like that in my
back
life.
in 1982. Can't do it anymore.
And you didn't expect it because at the time he lived in Rome with his mother and he wasn't working. He didn't have a lot of money. So me being the closest person to Rome, I lived in Marcy at the time. I'd go and pick him up in Rome and bring him to practice in Utica and then bring him back home. And we got to be really close during those times. And when I first picked him up, I'm like, maybe first appearances, I'm like, I don't know if this guy can sing like that. As soon as he did, I was like, wow. It was unbelievable that he could pull that off.
And what year was it that you guys got together, Visigoth?
With him, it was 85.
Yeah, early 85.
Early 85.
Well, you guys had another singer before him? Visigoth did?
It
was a different band.
Well, it was called Undercover before that. We were making the transition. We wanted to become a metal band. And so that was the idea, if we could find somebody that could sing.
Gotcha.
And we had gotten Dave at around that time, just before Jerry. And
I jumped on board in, I think it was December of 84. I remember.
Yeah,
November, December
like
of 84. And we were looking for a singer at that time. And it was just the four of us, just rehearsing, cover tunes.
To go back a little bit before that, 1982, about the same time I heard of Jerry singing and I heard Falcon, I was in a band called Fallen Angel, and for about a year, and we played all metal tunes. A lot of the tunes we're playing this weekend.
It's with Dean DeMore and Jeff Perillo.
Jeff Perillo and Dean DeMore and George Chrisman played bass, and Jeff Only played drums, and we were doing all the Maiden and all the Scorpions and all the UFO and all that. And I left to go into service. I was almost forced to go into the service, but that's okay. It straightened me out a lot, man.
That's for another podcast.
That was, death, jail, or rock and roll. You may have heard that, but
Thank you.
I chose the Army, and it worked out good. But as soon as I left, Jerry left Falcon and joined Fallen Angel. And he played with Fallen Angel for about a year, I think, or so, and then they must have broken up, and that's when you guys grabbed him.
Yeah.
That's when Visigoth grabbed him.
There's this story. Our guitar player had heard that the band was breaking up, so he borrowed change from our current singer at the time.
That's right.
To call him up, to ask him if he would audition.
That's
so
great.
Yeah, that's
borrowed change to call him up.
And you had to use a payphone. We had payphone back then.
we had
Payphone. Who's got money? Call Jerry.
You had to go to the busy corner from the White Tower building. I remember that.
Yep.
Use a payphone.
Holy shit.
Yeah, there was a lot of practice areas back around then too, right up and down Genesee Street.
Yeah, but at that time, that was the main
definitely
place. That whole building.
White Castle or the White Tower.
Yeah.
When I got out of the service in '86, May of '86, Bob and Dave and Jerry had already left Visigoth, and they had Ace and
Tim Gillis
playing drums, and I don't know what happened with Jerry. I don't know why Jerry left. And
I don't remember.
I don't know if you remember Anthony Arcuri. I got out and he goes, "Hey, I know this band and their singer just left, and I told them you were coming back to town, and then they wanted to try you out." And I go, "Dude, I haven't sung in 2 years. I don't know. I don't even know what they do." And they go, "Oh, no, they do all the songs you guys used to do. You can audition for them or something with those songs." So I went up there and I sang a couple tunes with them, and we got along okay. And then And then they played me the original music with Jerry singing on. I go, man, you guys are fucking crazy, man. This dude can sing. But I did some recording with them for about a month or two, and then it just wasn't in my range, man. The guy can hit some fucking notes. He was up there, and also I was more like a blues hard rock singer where this was pure metal. I mean, he was. I heard the shit and melted my fucking brain. It was good shit.
Yeah, he was great.
Some Rob Halford shit, huh?
Just not even just futuristic.
No effort. He could sing Queensryche, Iron Maiden.
Yeah, he made it look
that.
effortless.
He did. It was me listening to it.
All night long.
Me listening to it and then singing it it wasn't in my forte at the time. I just didn't know how to sing that stuff. Mm-hmm. I was more into like White Snake and that stuff at the time. After a few years after the heavy metal thing I was into.
So what are you guys doing this weekend as far as music goes, Visigoth? What do you guys cover?
Well, we're covering a bunch of the tunes that we covered when we played back then, plus some stuff that, now we're older and Mike's got to sing it, and so he picked out a few songs. So it's 70s and 80s classic metal, right along the same lines of what we did.
Yeah,
and we did write originals back then, but we only recorded a couple because there wasn't any technology. Now you can record on your phone, but it would cost a lot of money to go to the studio and record tunes, so we didn't really have that luxury, and I don't think the 4-track came out until...
No, Timmy Gillis had one. He had the 4-track there, and I sang on that. That's what I recorded my vocals on over their music after I listened to Jerry's vocals, and it just didn't sound right with their music, man. It wasn't. It was a different. It was like. It was like when Dio left Rainbow, and then Graham Bonnet stepped in. It just wasn't Rainbow anymore. Me singing it wasn't Visigoth. It just wasn't right.
The demo that we did was at UCA Recording, which was on a corner of Noise and Lennox.
Bob
Yager,
I think. Good guy.
Bob Yager,
yeah, Bob Yager.
And there is a couple originals on that tape.
Hollowed Ground and Lady of Darkness.
And there was
two originals.
There was 4 songs that they had me do. It was Hallowed Ground was one of them.
I remember.
Rebellion, maybe. Do you
I
remember
found that.
one?
I got it on CD.
Yeah.
I found it. I got it.
Right.
I found it a couple of days ago.
I want a copy of that if you got it. I want to hear that.
Yeah, can you
got
post
With
that?
Jerry singing.
Yeah,
I got it.
I got that.
I lost that.
I had it transition.
I lost that cassette tape years ago, man. It was just
from the
unreal.
original cassette that I got at UCA. I have it on CD.
It was so good. It was unfathomable.
There's some stuff I wish I had that I know I don't have that Jerry had, and God only knows where that is when he had it. He did a lot of demos for Benny Mardones. So, when he came to Arc Rock Studios, Benny would come in and lay the tracks. Benny would have no idea what the song sounded like. So Jerry sang all that stuff. And I can still, because Benny was an influence on Jerry. And Jerry could sing Benny better than Benny, I thought.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't either.
Yep.
I didn't know.
And I wish I had those demos. I can hear the one song. I think it was called Trinity or Travesty that Benny did. Jerry sang that. I can remember hearing the version of that. That was great.
Yeah, let's point out the fact that later on in life, Jerry became like a acoustic, bluesy Americana type singer. Man, it was really. And I remember seeing him do that stuff a few times and at benefits and stuff. And the guy wasn't just a metal singer. I mean, and we're not just. It's not going to be just a metal show Saturday either. In his memory, a couple of other what's Stan Primo he played with.
Stan played with Jerry a few months before he passed away as a duo, and so we invited him out to play with us.
That's awesome. Who else is on the bill? Red Hush is on the bill.
Definitely.
Our boys. Yeah. Are you guys doing? You mixing it up a little bit? Originals, covers, a little bit of both.
We are. We're playing a few more originals than we usually do.
Cool.
Because when you do the cover tune thing, obviously you stick them in when you can, but
you
don't want them to go get a drink.
You sprinkle them in a little bit. All right, you guys got some kick-ass originals.
You know what better be in your set list, right?
What's that?
In your set list. What song in your set list better be there? What song?
You know what? It's
Lois Lane.
Yes.
Yeah, I know you dig
Nah.
that.
I
one.
love that tune.
It's a great tune.
Come on,
That's
get your
Call
Dave's
hands on it,
in,
favorite
right?
song.
Tell Troy if you're listening. He wants to hear Lois Lane.
He already knows that.
Troy, Dave wants to hear Lois Lane.
I put it out as Louis Lane.
Dave wants to date Lois Lane.
I would.
So,
in the day.
so Freddie Yerman saying hello to everybody.
Hey, Freddie.
Hey, Freddie.
I take this Jerry
What's
brother.
up, Fred?
Yes, Jerry's
Yes.
brother, correct.
Thanks for checking
Jerry's
in.
brother. Great guy.
Lynn White is saying crazy talent. There is crazy talent in the studio. I feel like I do have the 315 like Music Hall of Fame sitting in here right now. I feel like I should be giving you guys a plaque. Seriously, like combine everybody's music experience right now, and it's over like 2 centuries. Seriously.
Now you say that little piece of history that doesn't really pertain to Jerry, but I throw it out there because they were talking about UCA Studios and all that. When Arden recorded the last demo in '87 at UCA Studios, John Gallagher from Raven produced that. John was staying at my parents' house with us. Long story short, most people don't know that Raven, Nothing Exceeds Like Excess, was done here in Utica, was recorded here.
Oh wow.
You know, I mean, there's so much history here and
much.
little things that people forget about that for some reason I remember. And
UCA was the studio to go to back then.
I think
That's
Carol
where we did
Kennedy
the Opus record.
stored his drums there also. I think
You guys recorded
Carol
that
and I
there?
had a conversation.
Did you?
Carol
Hey,
Kennedy
Bob
from the
Yager,
Rods.
Aquaviva produced it.
Aquaviva saying he brought Jerry to the demo all those songs, and he actually never got to meet Benny. That's what Bob
Probably
saying.
didn't.
Wow.
I thought he did.
Huh. Interesting. But
Ask him if he's got copies of it.
yeah, any of this
Roy.
stuff. If you could post any of this stuff like later after this podcast, please, I'd love to check out this.
Well, Bob's probably got stuff hidden in the house there.
Yeah, he's got a vault.
He's got all the Red Hush demos that we that they never released that they finally.
Yeah, the ones we didn't want anybody to hear.
We want to hear those, Bob.
Bust them out.
Remember
Hey, Bob.
Bob? Remember when we had Bob splice that one song and Shane wasn't there, and then he spliced it in the wrong spot because we told him that's where the singing came in.
Yeah.
He's like, "You guys are killing me." we were killing him.
He'd make us go home and practice to a metronome for hours and days and weeks.
Yeah, I learned more about the drums in Aquaviva than I learned from any drummer. Honestly, for sure.
He's saying he has everything, so he has all those recordings. Bob, post those
We're
up.
gonna put out a box set like Gene Simmons does. The Vault.
So who else is on the sign-up? We got Stan Primo, Visigoth, Red Hush, and anybody else?
Four Large Men are making a
Four Large Men.
Yeah, we're only going to play a few songs because, like I said earlier, we did our thing back in July at another venue, and Kevin's wife, Mary, called me up and said, "I'm coming out, book a show." So I did. So we got to play a lot of old songs, all the old Ardent, DC Straw, and we made Mary sing Jezebel off of the Four Large Men stuff, and that's a very hard song to sing. So we have a couple vocalists for this adventure. We didn't want to do too much. Like I said, we already did our thing. We wanted this to be more of a Visigoth and a few other things that we didn't get a chance to do last time. So that honor, we're going to have to buy a pair of bigger vice grips, goes to Mr. Chuck Heath. He's going to be singing Jezebel.
Pipe scripts, huh?
He sings high anyways.
Right to the nuts.
That's high.
Yeah.
That's high.
Vince Neil Jr.
But
Yep.
That's what I call him. Or break his balls.
But Jerry just had that natural thing where he just did it. So I don't want to give away too much. There's a couple little surprises. Lynn White is going to sing Good Morning Little Schoolgirl. I can say that.
10 years after version?
Our version. There's a version on YouTube that we did that Jerry just killed. And we have Mike singing like Snorting Whiskey from Pat Travers because we have that's also on YouTube.
Okay.
The second lineup of Four Large Men playing that. So Wayne W. Johnson, not to be confused with other Wayne Johnsons, is going to be playing bass. And Monster Mike Merrifield is the drummer for Four Large Men. And the three of us are paying tribute to Jerry in our own little way. Like I said, we did a big thing last year. This is just, our little thing. So
That's cool.
What did you guys do last year?
we had a huge event playing all the old stuff. We had...
It was outside of the stage at the Legion, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. At another venue. So yes, that was very big.
Another
Mary
venue.
came out, like I said, we played all the old stuff we used to play back in the day. Pat Benatar. We used to torture Mary so much, we did all the heart, but we'd make her sing Dio because she could do all that Doc and, everything. So we had various drum players on that. Riff Miller came out and played on a couple songs. It was a night to remember. There's tons of pictures out there, lots of video. A lot of it, you can go to roycawson.com. That would take you to some of those places too.
I went to that site. I saw man-on-man porno. What's going on? Did you got something going on the side, Roy?
You must have spelled it wrong. There's a typo on your part. You got a flip phone. How do you know how to use a computer?
There you go.
He typed in Roy Pumpston.
I got to mess with Roy.
Hey, at least Deb and I upgraded and went to AARP now.
Making fun of my phone, man.
Mike, so you're bouncing in and out from a bunch of these sets?
I'm just doing one with those fellas, Four Large Men, and then I'm going to sing a bunch with the Visigoth guys, and Bobby's actually singing a couple right there.
Yep.
He's going to sing a couple while he's playing the bass.
Bobby doesn't let it be known that he can sing.
Oh, he screams.
Yeah, he's a screamer.
Bob's got a
Great
great voice.
AC/DC.
Yeah.
Screamer. And we also, they originally had another friend that was supposed to play guitar, and it didn't work out, so we also got Mitch to come up and jam on a bunch of songs with us.
Hey, Mitch.
Mitchell Mann from the Bomb.
Technically,
also.
I'm not original member either, but when we played at Jerry's Celebration of Life
party
last year, the other guitar player, I believe, couldn't make it. So I got up with these guys, and Slife sang, and we ripped through a bunch of tunes. We had such a great time. We said we have to do this again. So we took it to another venue. We took it to Nothing Fancy. Thank you, Dave.
Dave and the crew at Nothing Fancy. Fantastic club.
Yeah, it looks great in there,
Unbelievable.
too.
Everybody's got to come to Nothing Fancy. It's really a great club. Great stage, great PA, great lights. And they treat you good. The prices are good on the beer too. It's not, it's really they turned it around drastically.
Yeah, Dave has gone above and beyond to help us with this. We've been rehearsing there, in the days that the bar's closed. He's been great to us. I can't thank him enough.
Yeah, nice guy.
He is the new source of entertainment.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
What they done to the place is amazing.
It is.
I
I haven't been in there in like 20 years, and when we went into the rehearse 2 weeks ago, I was like, holy shit, what happened?
Yeah.
They're booked right up, too. They got all kinds of different entertainment. It's not just country.
Great and Grace is playing there next month.
Who?
Yeah.
Great and Grace.
Yep.
Yeah. Who? Brent Grace?
Aren't you in that band?
I don't know.
We played there about 3 weeks ago, and it was great, man. The place is great. I really enjoyed the stage, and
I've seen some pictures. That was packed for you guys.
it was a very good night. Yeah, it was very good. That was a good center area for us, right in the middle of central New York. And anytime we used to play out there in the old days when Nothing Fancy was open, and Joel's Steakhouse down the road, even
the Route 5 tour, remember?
yeah. And we'd pack all those places, and it was great to be right there again, and it was busy.
Remember playing
Caddyshack.
Caddyshack,
Was it
Utica?
Lincoln Ave?
No, that was before it was a Caddyshack. It was
No, it was Caddyshack, then it was Shakers.
I remember Shakers.
That's
But it was
It was on
Caddyshack
Lincoln
before
Ave.
that.
I remember playing it at
The
Shakers.
street name.
It was something before.
I believe you guys. I know we played there.
It was?
Yeah, in the 70s.
Right on Lincoln Ave.
In the 70s, it was something.
I only remember it as the Caddyshack.
Because I remember original lineup of Ardent
Down
going
it.
back. We played 4 Acres.
Place burned down that we played.
Yeah.
I wish I had a cell phone then. Or
Casper?
Castbridge Inn. I played there 2 weeks later, burned to the ground.
Man.
Crosby's, even Crosby's burned after we played there.
Oh, at the brewery?
And then we at the brewery. We were on stage at the brewery.
That's right,
Flames
I
were coming out of
remember
the
that.
fucking window.
You guys are on fire over
Holy
there.
fuck.
They called the bomb for nothing.
We
right?
played Red Hush after many years of being in retirement, came out of their retirement, and they put out their CD, which came out a few years ago, and we played together with them.
Hey, what
Their
was that
first show for their CD release
were there,
party.
yeah, that's right.
2 days later, the place burned to the fucking ground.
Oh, man.
There wasn't a nail left. It was burnt to the ground. What was the place called? The Griff or something?
The dude trip.
Trip in.
The Do Trip
Yeah,
In
we
burned down.
I'm still bumming about that sign because the place burned down, and the only thing that was left was this burnt building, and the sign out front said "Tonight, Red Hush Live." And we
It was just a pile of rubble in this
we should have went
marquee.
back and took a picture.
Should take a picture of that.
They played there on Saturday and Monday. I'm driving to work down 49. I see smoke, and half of the building is still engulfed in flames.
Then Nancy went up to the Hinkley Hotel.
Yeah, we used to play there too.
Played
Nancy was
there
great.
back in the
She
day.
let us slide a lot.
Yeah.
She's a good person.
Yeah, she was sweet.
Roy brings up a legendary club, 4 Acres. Everybody talks about
Oh, yeah.
4 Acres. Anybody else play there besides Roy?
That was a little before
No.
my
Yeah,
time.
Before my time.
Before
Yeah.
mine,
Thank
too.
you.
I remember, but I do remember as a teenager, I remember Triffid coming through there,
Terrific.
which featured
Joey Belladonna.
Belladonna on vocals before he joined Anthrax. I remember Eddie Money played there. John Cougar, John Cougar. It was just John Cougar played there. It was they drew some big acts,
When we played there,
and then it was a dance club,
there was
like
a poster on the wall,
dance studio.
Bible Black, and that was former members of Elf, Craig Gruber.
It was Dio's band, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was Ronnie James Dio, Craig Gruber, Dave Rock Feinstein.
Buck DeHarm, not Buck DeHarm, Buck McDonald, and the singer was Jeff Felthart or something like that.
After Elf, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
They played at 4 Acres.
Those guys played at 4 Acres. They were called
You know
Bible
Craig.
Black.
You know Craig Gruber,
Yeah,
who was
yeah.
in Elf, and then he was on the first Rainbow album. My drummer,
nephew.
Joe Rabine, that's his uncle. He's
I
a
know
Gruber.
his
His
brother.
mother's a Gruber. His mother is his sister.
I know Keith.
Was Craig Gruber's sister. What?
Yeah, Joe, he's a great drummer.
Joe's a good dude.
Oh, he's solid. He's solid.
Yeah.
Was Dio gigging in Utica at all when he was like a local band
Yeah.
or considered a regional
From
band?
what I've heard,
Oh, yeah?
I wasn't around then.
way
but yeah.
before my
Sylvan
time.
Beach
man.
a lot. He
Sylvan
played.
Beach,
It was Ronnie Dio and the Prophets.
Okay.
Red
And
Cats, one of the
they played Sylvan Beach, Central New York, quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
I met a guy probably 25 years ago when
Sylvan
me and
Beach.
Yeah,
Mark
when we had the music store.
Yeah, we had a
that
music
night.
store
Yeah.
in Rome, and this guy walks in and he goes, you know who Ronnie Dio is? I'm like, yeah, I love Dio. He goes, well, I used to play with him in Ronnie Dio and the Prophets, and he was a retired sheriff from Cortland County, and we got to be friends. And he gave me a tape of their music from back then, and it's totally
Oh, it's
different.
totally
Yeah, it
different.
was
He,
like
again,
doo-wop
he was like,
almost.
could sing anything.
He did doo-wop at the
Yeah,
beginning.
it's like, yeah.
Will there be an angel
50s,
tomorrow?
early
Great.
60s doo-wop
Yeah.
they were doing back in the beginning. I remember that. I remember seeing pictures of that. I used to go down to Cortland a lot for work. And they had a big flag in the middle of town, Ronnie James Dio, and they had the Rods one. And anyway,
Oh yeah, the Rods are from down there too,
yeah,
right?
Cortland. Well, that's Elf. The guitar player in the Rods was the guitar player in Elf.
Oh.
Right. And
The only
Dio
thing-
and Feinstein are cousins.
Richie Blackmore absorbed Elf up minus the guitar player because he already had one himself, and that's where Rainbow came from.
I love the history lesson I'm getting today. Yeah. I just sit back.
Hopefully we're accurate. I mean,
We're going to be quizzed tomorrow, so
Well, there's a little age thing going on today, so you might forget a couple things here and there, right?
Well, me and Roy.
No,
I'm a stroke
looking at you.
victim.
Roy's always got that excuse.
Oh, man.
Hey,
I've been
it
hit in the
works.
head with many bats.
I try at home a
That
lot
didn't
too. It
help
doesn't
any.
work.
So let's remind everybody, though, it's coming up on Saturday at Nothing Fancy out in Vernon.
2 days.
Tribute to. It's in 2 days.
It's in 2 days.
See,
The
I don't even know what day it is.
29th. Today's Thursday.
You never know what day it is.
Thank you.
Ever.
I don't.
Every podcast, you never
And,
know what day it is.
and also too, I got to mention this. Chuck sent me a message earlier. When we played last year for the Celebration of Life, the weather was crappy.
Yeah.
And what's going to happen this year? The weather's supposed to be crappy again.
Yeah, it's the Central New York, man. If you
But
can't
that's
drive
Central New
through this
York.
shit
Well,
already,
it is-
move the
that's
fuck
Barry's
out.
way of saying ha 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 ha.
I hope it's over by then.
It's going to pass.
It'll be
They're gonna
fine.
get nearly as much as they get up
no,
north.
No, they're
No,
getting slammed
but-
up north. We'll be okay.
It'll be
all right.
fine. I don't trust that weather thing too much, man. We've played in blizzards and places been packed, and then we played in beautiful, warm, beautiful weather and be 7 people there. So I don't believe in this. They want to go out, they go fucking out.
When the hell did we get so soft about the weather? You live in
What the
upstate New York,
fuck, man?
people. You know it. Like, goddamn, they 3 inches of snow.
age.
Everybody freaks out. Oh
I'm
my
going
god,
riding.
it's
Bones
ridiculous,
hurt.
man.
You get on your sled and ride it
I'm
on
going
in.
riding after I get out of here.
Everybody freaks
I'm
out.
going home in the hot tub.
Me too. I'm going in the jacuzzi.
I'm going with Roy.
I'm going on the couch. I'm just going to sit back.
Bob's saying Steve.
Mark's going to work.
Aquaviva's saying Steve Edwards was the guitar player in Elf, and his mom lives on Hampton, 5 doors down from his house in Utica. So,
Oh, right in Utica.
yeah,
Okay.
so much history. And that's why I got.
Well, Bob knows more than anybody, man.
Yeah, I
Shit.
know. Bob, come on the
Bob's
podcast,
got it
please.
down.
And big ups to Wicked. I know your son's playing in Wicked.
Yeah.
He's been in the band for about 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, that's
now.
what we were talking about earlier. But
Yeah.
he was the missing link for those guys. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. He fit right in like a glove.
Yeah.
Like fit right in. They're doing great things, man. They're out there
Oh, they're
traveling
awesome.
all over the
Good
place,
things,
and
He's a monster drummer, man, that kid.
yeah.
He can hit.
When we were
He's
when
excellent.
when he was 14, Roy would bring him, like if we played at Field Days, the Bomb. Roy would bring him and he'd come up and play a couple songs with us. And the kid's fucking he was all acrobatic while he's playing and shit with the drumsticks and all that bullshit. And then when they were looking for a drummer in Wicked, I said that fucking kid's got to go out there and play for Wicked because that's what they're very showman. The band's very showy, which is cool, man. It's awesome.
It is.
It's old school hard rock
and straight. They just hit you.
It's rock and roll. It's fun to watch.
Yep,
it's fun to watch.
It's a great show. Well-oiled machine they are.
True.
Yeah.
When Kevin came up, the last time I saw Kevin before he passed, he died a year after that. We had a huge reunion. It was myself, Mary, Kevin, and we had the bass player, Jeff Howell, who played with Foghat, The Outlaws, Sad Boy Brown. He filled in because Eric, the original bass player, was in California. He couldn't make it. So we ended up playing, one last big hurrah. And we had that as art, and then DC Strut went on before that, and we had 2 bass players. So we made Gunner play bass on a couple songs, and then we had Mike Jakeaway, so we called Bingo play on a couple songs. Gunnar was playing drums then, so it was kind of neat because I wish I had, you wish you take pictures and things, but you don't think people are going to pass away or whatever. Out in the garage before we rehearsed, Gunnar and Kevin did get a chance to sit down and go over some stuff, which I thought was really cool.
Nice.
Nice. The kid plays bass too, huh?
Yeah, he plays bass. He plays a little bit of guitar.
He's almost as cute as his dad.
He came out of the womb beating the drums, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just about, because when Deb was
Madonia.
pregnant, she was playing like Rob Zombie and all that, and, And it's kind of neat because at this other facility venue that we go frequently quite a bit, a couple of the old guys there, you go there, it's like, hey, is your mom in the kitchen? Yes, she is. Talking about my wife, because everybody confuses Gunnar and I. So I love it. I
yeah,
could be 20
man.
again,
You don't look that young. Don't kid yourself.
You're mini-me.
Please.
Same thing if he comes home and visits, he goes to Price Chopper and, and he just looks at these people like, okay. So it is kind of comical.
Yeah.
But he does look a lot like me.
Shit. You're killing me, Roy.
They're doing great things, though, Wicked.
Yeah, they're doing great
Superpower. It's fun to watch them grow. And what Bob's doing with them is
My other kids,
tremendous.
kind of play guitar a little bit. And they mostly the girls, they sing.
Uh-huh.
I sang.
No, you don't.
You're
an entertainer.
No, with them. I sing along. That's what I meant. I sing along to Red Hush tunes.
Yeah.
Every time they fucking play, man, and I go out and check them out. I know all the songs, and I'm sitting there rocking out with everybody else. I'm going to be rocking out fucking Saturday, and I'm probably going to throw my voice out before we play, and then Bob's going to kick me in the ass because I can't hit the fucking notes, which I'm going to do my best to do.
Mike. Pace yourself.
But I will be having a good time in Saturday night at this Hammer Fest.
You got to come out.
Everyone's got to come down there
Free
and have a good time.
Will you hop up with Red Hush?
music.
No, I don't. No, that's all original, man. When they do all originals, I go crazy for their
Shane
songs.
likes to have you come out.
I go up and sing with Shane every once in a while. Like they do some covers, and I'll jam every once in a while with them. Yes,
You
absolutely.
mean Troy?
Shane Troy Perry, STP.
STP, baby.
The guy who can never get a day off from work in the summer to go for a motorcycle ride. That guy.
Hi, Troy.
Hi, Troy.
Can't get the day off,
up
man.
here?
I wish I could.
Say hi again, Bob.
Hi, Troy.
Hi, Troy.
He's got to be loving all the Troy going around.
T-R-O-Y.
No, I've invited him in so many times, and he's like, brother, I don't know if I can do it, brother. I don't know. I just,
Brother or brother?
Brother.
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 There's no T or H in it.
Who was the original brother?
Ask him.
You started
Ask
it?
these guys.
Daddy used to do my drums.
Yeah, the guy used to do your drums?
Yeah, he's the original brother.
He's the original.
He's a good guy.
And you've brought that all over the place.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you guys
We
all
were
burger.
crazy.
You talking about Mike?
Yeah.
Mike Mangelino.
Mike Mangelino. Elvis.
Elvis, yeah.
He does an Elvis thing now.
Yeah?
Yeah, he does. We did a benefit a couple of years ago, and he come out.
Yep.
He puts up this big Elvis backdrop with the lights in it, and he puts on the leather jacket, and he does all the moves, and he sings to a track, and he was fucking awesome, man. And he told me he goes to
Yeah, he does like the hospitals
and stuff. He does it for free, for
nursing
benefits
homes,
and stuff, nursing homes and things. And I was like, holy shit, this fucker's good, man. He was doing Elvis. It was awesome.
Nice. The original brother.
Yeah, the original brother.
He's the original.
I love it.
One cool bit was we didn't have a drum kit to use for the show. I have my Roland kit in my studio, and it stays there. I don't move it.
Yeah.
So Bob and I were talking. I says, "Listen," if
It's
you
an
want,
extra bathroom.
I'm not going to move it, Dave.
oh, it's all right.
Okay.
All good. So I says, let's buy a shell kit. I have all the hardware. I have all the cymbals. I have all the pedals. So let's go. And if you're interested, let's go ahead and we'll buy a 5-piece drum kit, just a decent kit to use. And between the both of us, we will have a brand new kit.
Oh, cool! It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Is that blue one that was in the picture?
It's like it's purple
Gray,
actually.
blue,
It's like a
purple.
deep violet
Very
purple
cool.
type thing. Yeah.
Boris, are you back on the scene
Yeah,
now?
it's like fuchsia or something.
Are you back on? I see you playing here and there, right?
I'm on call with Sound Barrier.
You're on call.
I'm on call.
Okay.
You know, I'll if I can help those guys out, I'll help them out any way I can. I love working with them. We all
If
have
Rocky
great
needs a
time.
hand job, Dave gets a call.
I don't go near Rocky.
You don't
I'm
want
on the other side. I also run sound for them when they play at the casino at Vernon Downs and places like that. But
Right on.
they're looking for a full-time drummer, and I can't, unfortunately, due to injury, I can't do it full-time. I'm only playing a handful of songs Saturday night.
And Mike Merrifield's playing most of them.
And he's
Monster Mike.
Mike's doing like 3/4 of the songs. I'm coming up in the middle of the set, and I'm playing I think 6 songs.
Right on.
Great.
So
Does it feel good to be back in
it does,
action?
but it's a struggle, man.
Is it?
It's a struggle. I have to wear a brace on my arm.
You tried
and
CBD?
Oh yeah,
Yeah?
yeah. I haven't.
Take
I
it
haven't.
off?
Yeah, he's definitely trying that.
I ran out about a month and a half ago, and I haven't had a chance to get out and get any more, or order online. I just didn't bother with it.
It helps with the aches and pains.
It does.
It does.
It
Well,
does.
I mean, everybody's different, but it helps me with my aches and pains.
No, but I mean, playing these songs again, and we had a really good rehearsal last night, and
Cool.
it was just chills.
Are you guys going to try to sneak into your old costumes from back in the day?
I got
too?
some
Yeah, yeah, me and Bob could squeeze right into him.
For 4 large men, I got a few things I want to surprise some people with that I found.
Yeah?
I got tons of stuff, totes and totes and totes of stuff.
And you still fit in all that shit, too.
Yeah, Roy's still a
Well, it's a prednisone
string bane.
now, but yeah, it's prednisone now.
I'm
but,
gonna try to get my tiger skin spandex out. Yeah, sure. Remember that shit from back in 1983?
Cut off shirts,
We're doing
bandanas on our legs and everything.
we're doing
Heavy metal.
doing lot of the classic metal with the Visigoth thing that we're doing with 2 original members jamming with us right here, Bob and Dave, and Mike playing a lot of the drums. Mitch playing on a few songs,
Van,
Mitchell Mann, and Roy, of course, on guitar. We're doing stuff from UFO,
Iron Maiden.
Iron Maiden,
Kiss.
Priest,
Dio.
Talking.
Dio, Rainbow,
So there's something for
Black
everybody.
Sabbath.
Sabbath. Yeah, Sabbath with Dio, and Ozzy.
Covering a lot of ground.
Yeah.
A lot of ground from that
Oh,
era.
Yeah,
except. Don't forget except.
Except who?
Yeah.
Yes, except.
Playing
That's you.
playing all these old songs, does the muscle memory come back to you? Like you're just like,
Yeah, you know,
It did for me.
cool.
Yeah.
It did for me.
I'm so
They've
happy.
always been so embedded in my head
yeah.
that I never forgot them. I had to rehearse them.
Oh, sure.
Because I wanted to make sure that I could.
I'm so happy to be able to sing these songs again, man. It's
Yeah.
just so much
No, no,
You
fun.
doing great, man. It sounded great last night too.
sorry, my
Even though we
bad.
were freezing in there, it sounded really good last night. I was happy.
I took today off and I was home just going over my parts again because you got to make sure some of that stuff is there.
Yeah.
I had a couple of brain farts last night. How do you start that song again? I have no idea.
It's gonna be great. Man.
Was it
It's gonna be
really
a great
like
time.
that? In my mind, it wasn't. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Bob, Brian, what does Primo's band? They play mostly like blues and
They
blues
play some
rock.
blues stuff.
Yeah, blues rock. They're kind of a variety band. They play some classic rock. They got some original stuff.
Yeah,
They're playing right at 8.
Yeah, they're starting right at 8.
Yep. Stan's a great guitar player.
he's
Yeah, the
great-
Primos,
great-
they're all good
yeah.
guitar players.
So this is going on all night. So it starts at 8 and going till
Till whenever.
8 till whenever.
Red Hush is going to come out and kick some ass for us,
Good
they're-
time.
as always. And
Jinx.
Shane Troy Perry will be there singing.
Troy. Yeah,
He's
Troy.
loving this.
And Ray Abel and Billy Carmen. And Billy was supposed to be here today, but
What happened to Billy?
I don't know, he fell
I
off
was
the
looking forward to
toilet.
seeing Bill
Did
today.
some Elvis thing, I heard. And
I believe Bill is donating a donation box.
oh yeah,
believe.
because it's a free show. There's no charge to
We're
get
not
in.
getting paid for this.
Come in for free. Bring
No
everybody
excuse
for
not to
free, and we're gonna have a donation box there. We're gonna be collecting anything you want to donate, money
$1,
wise.
it could be whatever. You want to put a throw a couple
Throw
bucks
some money in there because
Every
it's
little bit
all
helps.
going to the VVS, the Vernon. How do you say that?
Vernon
Vernon
Verona
Cheryl.
VVS.
Yeah.
VVS.
Keep the music in the
Music
school.
Boosters program.
I went to
kids,
a night. I
man.
didn't go to BVS.
And we're donating all in Jerry's name. We're going to have commemorative Hammerfest T-shirts for sale.
Awesome.
Very limited amount. Please get them as soon as you get there.
50-50, probably
50-50
too.
raffle. We're gonna be doing all kinds of giveaways and shit.
Please feel generous.
It's for the kids.
Yes.
We got a huge
whole idea.
Bob
For the
got a
kids.
huge banner made for the stage, Hammerfest with Jerry's picture on it.
Awesome.
Which looks just like the T-shirt, the picture we got out there on Facebook right now, and we're gonna all sign that, and Bob wants to raffle that off even, or auction it off, just to try to raise every penny we can for the benefit for the VVS boosters in Jerry's name, because really that's why we wouldn't be together if we weren't here for Jerry. So that's basically it, man.
Right.
That's why we're doing this.
Don't forget, it's this Saturday, people. You got no excuse. It's a free
I'm
show.
stoked, man.
Free
All the
show.
money is going
Good
to the
time.
kids,
Show.
man. It's going to the VVS music
good time.
program. Do it. Support your local music program. We can't tell you it's so important. I can't tell you how much it is important to me to make sure music is getting played in schools.
See, all of us.
And we do an instrument
One
drive
room.
every year here
And it's
on the D. So
and it's a great area for music. I mean,
Yep.
we've played the Verona Field Days for years, and they always treat us great. The Verona Firemen's,
Yeah.
People in Vernon, when we play in Vernon, they all come out and anywhere in that area, Oneida area, Rome area. It's right in the center of everything. Utica, Syracuse. Come on out. Take a few minutes, ride out there, enjoy many different types of music and bands, and it's not just metal, but there's going to be a blast at the end of the show.
And they have
That's
food.
what's going on.
Yes,
Oh yeah.
They have food.
They serve food at Nothing Fancy. You get there earlier and have some food, and it's a free show. Please donate everything you can in Jerry's name for the benefit.
awesome. You
It's
guys,
going to be great.
you guys are doing a great thing, guys. I love that you guys all came in today. This has been a lot of fun. This has been
Appreciate
great.
it.
Make sure you go out. On
Didn't get as
Saturday.
crazy as I thought it would, but
Yeah, it happens. It happens.
This is Bob Lett's idea, by the way.
Was it?
Yeah, good job.
no, it wasn't.
Hammerfest.
Oh, that was. I thought you
Not
meant
coming in here. That was Z's idea.
There was not. You.
I know.
You.
Well,
I brought it up.
Dave,
like it in my-
Dave made me call you
yeah.
because I'm afraid to call him.
Why?
No, I'm joking. You didn't say that. You fuck.
We had a fun last year, so like you said, let's do it again.
Yeah. Would you think this is going to be an annual thing?
Bob and I
hope
were
so.
talking about
It's
it.
Bob's
we're
call.
hoping.
so
Yeah.
Roy mentioned
Like it
something
to be.
about maybe doing something in the summer.
Bob
Also,
Bob is stressed out.
Are you?
He was stressed out because he wants things to go so well, and I don't blame
it
him.
it was tough putting this all together and
not
getting
easy.
everybody in the same room at the same time. But I'm good. I'm good.
You got to really
did a great
appreciate
job.
everything. You got to appreciate
Did a great
everything
job.
Bob's done to put this together in Jerry's name.
Bobby the
always
man.
put on
He did a lot of shit for this.
I love Jerry. He was a great guy.
Yep, he
Yeah.
was.
Well, he
And,
lived with us for a while. He lived, we stayed in a neighbor across the street, so we could never get away from him.
And he was a great musician. But when we used to hang out at the practice room, Jerry's stories were the best.
Yeah.
And we would laugh and laugh, and we'd be stoned and laugh, and he would be talking
what?
about some. Oh, I don't know.
I used to be afraid of getting high around him because I'd laugh so hard
Well,
I couldn't breathe.
We had this beer ball, and we turned it into some type of smoking device.
Yes, I remember that.
And it was Jerry's turn, and he's a huge guy, and he's like kind of puffing on the bong, and he just sucked the beer ball sucked it right in. But his stories were the best. He was
That was
always
good.
talking about some floozy woman that he knew, and we would be laughing. Or some rock guy that was out of his mind, and he was always.
yeah.
I'm happy Jerry and I got to reconnect, obviously, through Facebook, as a lot of people do nowadays in the last few years, and come to find out that he only lived 3 minutes down the road from me. So it's like, dude, I could walk to his house if I wanted to. It'd take me 20 minutes. But what was cool is that we hung out a lot the last few years before he passed. If he needed a ride to the grocery store, I come pick him up and I take him grocery shopping. I took him to doctor's appointments in Syracuse if he didn't have a car, and we it was nice to connect on that level, and talk about the old days and listen to a lot of tunes, and we go out to lunch, and
I definitely.
I miss him.
I definitely can feel the love in here for him today.
It was
for sure.
He was one of a kind. There will never be anybody like him.
Yeah, right on.
Ever.
Right on. Well, thanks guys for coming in.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for having
Thank you, Z.
Grit and Grace,
Thank you.
Red Hush, The Bomb, Roy Costin.
Visit Goats.
This is great. This is local CNY Music Hall of Fame material today. But Roy, I'd definitely like to get a one-on-one. We got a little history, music.
Got to get Bob Aquaviva in here someday.
Bob,
too.
you need to come on. That's for damn sure. For damn sure. Thank
Come on jam with us,
Thank you.
Bob.
Thank you.
Saturday night, make sure you guys go out to Nothing Fancy and support the cause and help the kids out, and also remember the hammer all at the same
Picture.
time. You got a
Four
picture right
large
there.
men.
Put it right up here. There's the camera right up there. 4 large men. Yeah. Or you guys? Yeah, you guys were 4 large men. That's for sure. That is for sure.
That's a great picture.
That is a great picture. Awesome. Well, thanks again, guys.
Thank you.
And make sure you go
That
on
is a
out.
great
Thanks for having us,
Saturday
man.
night.
Peace.
Nothing Fancy is the place to be, and we
Please
will
take care, everybody.
Look up for Hammerfest on Facebook.
Yep.
later. So you just bought your dream home, and now it's time to move. Let's face it, nobody likes to move. All the packing, unpacking, lifting, upstairs, downstairs, and broking everything, including your back. Let the professionals at EJA Moving Company take all the stress and pain out of your move. Competitively priced moving, relocation services, office moves, and complete packing and unpacking services. They work with everybody to make it simple and easy for you to move and relocate. Call EJA Moving Company at 315-335-0516. When it's time to relocate, have EJA Moving do all the work for you. Hit them up online, ejamoving.com.
Want to know what's going on at the D? Hit up DisruptionNetwork.net and check out our events calendar brought to you by the Events Co. Find out about upcoming guests, special events, concerts, show schedules, community activities, and more. Get connected at DisruptionNetwork.net.